misu Chapananga Mashu.
And how long have you lived in the community here?
Ever since my childhood.
Mm-hmm. So you grew up here?
Yeah, I grew up here.
Yes. When you were young, was there already a radio station?
This media was here in 80s. I was born in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
And this media was here ever since 80s. Mm-hmm. 82, 83, 84.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of radio programming were you listening to as a young man, as a teenager? What was broadcast on the radio station here?
Because it was new, and it was new slowly going into because I remember from my childhood I grew up in a Christianity in a cultural ways. So media was slowly getting into our people because it was new and because back then still now today we're still in cultural ways. It was new to our people and to me and my people. Slowly, learning for the media, radio. We didn't know anything about radio, media, what they can do, but we just what's that radio? But we didn't know anything because we was in the cultural days, and we're still cultural days today.
And when you say cultural days, you mean you're seriously still engaged with your traditional culture?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and is that part of the mission of community radio, to somehow maintain or sustain traditional culture even though you're using a new media like radio?
Yeah. I play this media stuff in two ways. In Kadia. Kadia means in our languages white people's world, and in a Yapa world, black people world, Aboriginal world. So I play those two parts. So I tell my media in my language for my people, and I tell in English media to white people.
So when you're focusing on your own language and tradition, and you're speaking your own language, obviously, over the air, and you're broadcasting in your language, do you play music that reflects your tradition? Because you're both talking and sharing information, but are you also playing traditional music? Or
we play traditional music, and I play traditional music and white people music, and I speak it in my own language, and I speak in English. Yeah, because I know my people, what they want and what they want to hear. So for the audience, my job is to be nice and friendly to the audience. Yeah, that's why I know my people, and I know the audience. I know what I give them. When I play radio, I don't think of myself. I think of the audience. How I'm gonna draw them near me to hear the radio.
That's a lovely way of thinking about radio. Is it's a way of inviting people in to a space, and when you're able to make them feel it's their space.
It's like, to me, radio. It's like, sorry, miss.
No, go ahead.
To me, the radio is like you're doing a cooking and you want to sell something, your recipe. You have to, what people like to taste, what they want to taste. If they're good, they will buy it. If they're good, they will like it. It's like a cooking recipe. For me in the radio, it's like the true audience to me. I have to give them taste, make them feel good, and make them feel, I don't think of myself, I think of the audience. I'm going to draw them near me.
So you do go live on the radio then, right here.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the studio right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you first begin your program, do you introduce yourself, and do you have a theme song or a way to introduce yourself?
Yeah, yeah. There was a couple of before I start radio. I have to. It's all about timing. I have to be. I have to say things right time. I have to be there at the right time. I have to be there in the right place, right time, and news have to come along. Yeah, and I have to. Like I said, for the audience, I have to draw them near me at the right time. Like I have to give them something like audio books, play them in my language, audio books, and interviews, make them feel comfortable. Audience here, yeah,
So, so that's very interesting because you get sort of feed coming in from maybe the Australian Broadcasting Company or from other outside your community, other programming or news programming. Do you?
yeah,
Yeah. And,
yeah.
yeah.
The only thing we get feedback is my job. When I get from government spots, I I edit them in this other room, and I talk in English and I talk in Walbro in my own language and in English language, foreign language, and then government send me the scripts and I record them and edit them and say what they want me to say. I say it in my language and in English, and then I edit them, then bounce them to MP3, then I put them standby in the radio. Whenever I do a show, I put that little interview audio I produce, put it on the side, then I talk on the radio. And there's a corridor books for the kids, BID books for the kids in my language. Put them on the side, audio book, and spots from government gives me, I put them on the spot. And the news they give me, I put them on the side. So whenever I speak, I have to be the right time at the right place. Then the news comes along. Then I talk again, music talk. Then the government spot comes in. Just music talk. Then the interviews.
That's beautiful. I'm almost crying because I love radio, and you must love radio.
Yeah, I love it.
You must love it to take such care in what you do and how you do it. You love it.
I love radio.
And it is such a gift to people.
Yeah.
And audiobooks, managing all that to make it inviting and enticing is very hard. Because I know I've produced radio and it's hard. And what you do is harder, much harder, because you're using two languages, two different worlds you're going into and out of, and making it all work. And that's really beautiful. That's really hard. So I honor that, and I did want to ask you,
Thank you.
just one little, are you going to continue in radio? Is this something that because you obviously know production now, and you know how to edit, and so is that something that you want to keep doing for you and for your community?
Yeah, yeah, I want to keep on doing it, and more I fiddle with the radio and production, new things come into my head, then I more we do it, there's more ideas comes along. Yeah, it's all about the audience. Yeah, and I have to take care of them. Yeah, and I have to take care of the radio because I love radio and editing, producing. So more ideas comes along.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because people think radio is so old-fashioned. I'm crying because it's so beautiful. People think radio is so old-fashioned, but it's not. It's really, you can do a lot of creative things, and it sounds like that you love it and that you're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
How do you get young people to understand the value of radio?
Hi.
Young people, how do you get young people engaged in radio so they want to do the kind of work that you do?
Yeah.
Broadcast, production, editing, that kind of thing?
I don't know. I don't know. I just do what I do, and they hear it, and they come to me and they say, "I heard you on the radio. It was good." And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just doing my job, my ideas, and end of the day, walking out of this building, end of the day, people come up to me, kids come up to me, say, "Oh, I heard you done a good job." And end of the day, when I'm finished doing hard jobs, editing, PhD books, audio books, government spot, end of the day, I get feedback from the kids. They come and praise me. Yeah.
Oh, that must make you feel so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And some of them may be thinking, one day I'm gonna be like him.